I guess so. This is going to be the cannibal motor for the Elk Raptor. So this is a Suzuki motor. Now I'm going to cannibalize this motor at a certain point in time. I was trying to do it for this particular video for Tex Talk and Shop, but time's getting away from me. But these are small bolts. I don't know the thread pitch offhand right now, but I'm going to pull these out, figure out the thread pitch. I want to show you guys how to insert a helical. These are bolts about yay big, so we need to know the depth of the bolt, where the threads stop and end, and all that good stuff. We're going to put a helical on here. We're going to round some of this stuff off, and we're going to play around with some of the stuff up here, maybe on here. These are M10s of some sort, but we're going to play around with inserting helicals. We're going to even take one of the bolts out, run it in purposely crooked. We're going to retap it, helical it, see how we fix these problems. But that's going to be at a later time. So when I get to getting all the tooling I need to do these processes, I'll get back to you guys with that. But so we're talking about the Elk Raptor. So this is going to be the cannibal motor for a future video, so we can show some tips, tricks, and techniques. So we're going to focus right here on this little guy right here. So right here I have a quarter drive SK with a Husky. This is a Husky turbo socket, whatever you want to call them, pounded onto a panhead screw. So I took one out here. This is the carburetor, so this one's a little marred up. So we're going to see if these twin grips will get them out. They look like this. I have two pairs. I have these and these. These two pliers particularly, normally they work really good for these panhead style screws. So we'll see if I can get this out. So I did get it to break. So that's a good thing. Yeah. Figured it'd be better go from here than here. Have more spread here. I'm just going to cannibalize this entire project for educational purposes. So it was a little marry, not too bad though, but purpose was showing if these guys can grab a panhead. Now let's see if this little pounded on socket can take this off. We're using just a little quarter drive. I got movement and it is wobbly, but it is coming out, guys. So you can pound a turbo socket onto a panhead as well, guys. And that guy's on there. It works 50% of the time on the panheads. I have good luck with it and bad luck with it. Does not work very well with button heads, along with these button heads. Somehow these just somehow will not bite on a button head screw, guys. So there's that right there. So we're gonna hop back inside and we're gonna talk about tools I use for the Elk Raptor situations, helicoils and processes, and then at a later time I will show techniques on this motor, since it is a project motor and I'm okay getting rid of this one and playing around with it, guys. Alright guys, so we're back inside now. So the Elk Raptor for me is mostly nuts and bolts, nothing crazy fancy, but it's what I do. Break a lot of stuff. So we saw the twin grips, the nip picks, take some stuff out. Another pair I got is these guys here. These are the Fujio ones with the spring in them. I really actually like these ones a lot. These are more regular use probably for me though, but they do work. Dremel is one of the things I would use because it has a speed function and you can get in there with precision stuff, along with little bitty drill bits like this 1/16 guy. And I do like the hard metal drill bits from Milwaukee. All you gotta do is just change out your collar on a Dremel, and I like these straight flutes from Mayhew. This is the SAE kit, the 37-33-2. I have not broken these ones, where I have broken many Irwin ones. But using this setup, I was able to pull out a bolt. I broke the head off a bolt into a drive shaft and was able to get it out. And there's also a little stand where you can use this like a drill press or a sideways drill press. So Dremel's a pretty good one to have. Thread repair. Thread files are really nice to have as well. I don't use these very often. I've used them to repair like 3 or 4 things in the last number of years, and that's about it. But nice to have as often, just to clean threads up if you don't have a thread chaser that big. And speaking of thread chasers, I like to have these. It's a combination of Kimball, Midwest, and Lang and Blue Point that I use. So I use these all the time. They're consumables, and they break quite often. And sometimes you run into a situation where you do not have a thread chasing a particular bolt. So you just take a bolt, you put some grooves in it, and boom, you have yourself a thread chaser. Yes, it is not perfect, but it does work really well. I know that for a fact. You gotta have thread pitch gauges, metric and standard. These things will help you immensely. So it's a must have. With the thread chasers, I tend to take them and do this though. I glue them in to my sockets, and boom, I have them already made. Now, extractors. I love and hate these little multi-spline guys from Irwin. You get this much bite, you got a drill, get in there. Sometimes these break off a lot. Got a 50-50 success rate with using these, but just nice to have the option. Along with, you got to have tap sockets. If I was to recommend to buy anything at it, this, first thing you should buy is tap sockets, because you can hold your taps and you can hold your extractors. So if I find some super small bolts, let's try to break some small stuff and do some surgical removal with this little guy here. So tap sockets are a must. I also use files, cut grooves and stuff, put a slot in it, put a flathead on it, ream it out, maybe get a little extra room to move around. I use files. Then there's helicals. This is a tool. I don't remember where it came from, but this is what I use to remove helicals. There's no name on it. All I know is it removes helicals very well. I prefer the Power Coil brand. I've said this many a times, because they give you everything you need in your little kit. You get your helicals, and I just add stuff like the sockets and the thread chase, but you get your tap, you get your punch, you get your insert, you get your drill bit, and don't break the taps that come in these kits. They are special ordered, basically, in my opinion. Turbo sockets, we saw the Husky take that out. Been playing around with the gear wrench ones a little bit. Not as aggressive as I would like though, but you can beat on them a little bit. I took out a broken cap extractor the other day, so it works. I like the older designs like these ones, a little bit more aggressive. I believe these are old Craftsman. So yeah, I like the older ones a little bit more. Screw grab is something that I've had success with on Phillips, not Allen's by any means. Also Torx's though, but for 15 bucks, you got a little stripped out weird button head fastener or a flat pan head fastener. Put a drop of this in there and see if you can get it out first. These are made by Titan. Now these guys are what I would consider consumable because they're so dainty. They're supposed to go over your fastener and help you pull it out. Put them on with a little bit of a hammer too aggressively and they're shattered. So I can't say they don't work. When they have worked, but they are a little dainty for me. I used Torx, or not Torx, this is a triple square, and Torx bits as extractor. Sometimes on Allen's, they do work sometimes, so it's another option. And if you're using an impact driver, Irwin also makes these guys. These are little fluted turbo socket extractors. So pound it on, impact driver, take it out. Another option. I prefer to use hand tools when I'm extracting. Pocket screwdriver, especially if you're going to do some helical. Get your depth, mark it, boom, boom, boom. I use pocket screwdriver strictly for depth, along with these guys. Sometimes I don't necessarily like very much. These are the Astro damage fastener wrenches. Now this one has been used a few times. It's slipped, the open end slipped where this end hasn't. So this is the better end to work with in my opinion. Something I haven't used, and I remember when I bought this and I still haven't used it. But it does have a place. At some point in time I will use it. Deep well thread chases. At some point I will use this kit. This is the Irwin kit. This is the 309-4102. At some point this will get used. It's gonna win. And the biggest thing I could recommend, next to the tap sockets, is this. This is coming from Nuts and Bolts with Tone as a former member. I didn't know about these things until I saw this video. These are the Walton tap extractors. This particular kit is the #1 set of tap extractors, part number 18001. Now, these things change how I work because I break a lot of taps somehow, and all it is that. And it's a 4-flute one. You break your tap, you put that down in there, boom, pull your tap straight out, guys. Nice and easy. This is the biggest recommendation, along with those tap sockets from Lyle, that I would purchase for your crap moments, guys. But this GM85 text talking stuff, guys, and we're gonna get to cannibalizing that motor out there, guys, and showing you guys how to remove some broken stuff, guys. But I'll catch you guys later.